Okay, so today I'm gonna do eye makeup tutorial, and this is gonna be more of like a smoky eye, kind of a night out, or I use this a lot when I'm on stage because we want our eyes to stand out, right? That's where we express ourselves on stage. So I use this look a lot when I'm singing, or sometimes I just use it because it's a Tuesday, you know, and I like to be a little fancy. So this is gonna be a darker look. Now, if you don't have the colors that I'm using, go with the same intensity or the same like shade. So one of the colors I'm gonna use is Determined, and it's kind of like, it's a dark shade, but it's like a medium dark. So kind of, if you don't have the exact colors, look for that sort of shade in the colors that you do have, okay? So eye makeup, I love doing dark eyes, but some days it's better than others. Some days it's just a mess. So first thing I do is I just pray, give it up to God, and then I valor up because I just need a little strength sometimes, okay? All right, and if you don't know by now, this is my favorite oil, okay? Good for all the things. All right, so step one, lavender lip balm, okay? Just take a light layer across your eyelids. Now, I know this is super weird, and you're probably thinking, gosh, isn't that gonna be greasy? No, I thought so too, and I hesitated trying it for the longest time when I heard about this, and I was like, that's gonna be so gross, I'm gonna crease everywhere. No, it works really well, as long as you don't like cake it on like you would your lips. So, light layer all over your whole lid. Make sure it's rubbed in. All right. Next step, we're gonna use the color Determined. And I use Savvy Minerals because they really care about their ingredients. If you don't know yet, take a look at the makeup that you're using and read the ingredients on the back. And if they don't have ingredients listed, you probably don't want to know what's in it, because if they're not listing the ingredients, then they're not being transparent, and they know that some of the things that they're using aren't the best for you. So if your makeup says methylparaben, if your makeup says something like phthalates, if your makeup says sodium lauryl sulfate, any of those ingredients in your makeup, talc is another one that a lot of companies put in their cosmetics. Those are ingredients that you really need to stay away from. So read the ingredients on your makeup and make sure that what you're using is, it's good for your skin, it's not harmful, okay? So Savvy Minerals, love this stuff. The first color I'm gonna be using is called Determined. And it's like a dark brown shimmery color. And I'm gonna use my Savvy Minerals blending brush. Looks like this. So I just take just the tiniest bit on the end, and then I tap off the excess in the lid. So I end up with about, well, it's kind of hard to see. I end up with about that much on my brush. Now, I don't do my face first because I have found that I get a little messy, especially with the dark colors. They just fly all over my face, and then I'm like wiping off foundation, reapplying, it just becomes a whole mess. So I start with eyeshadow first. And this you're gonna take just right in the crease. And really blend it in. Make sure that it's even. Another technique that I've seen is for someone to put like a piece of tape right across here so that you don't get it down here. I've tried that. The tape just drove me nuts. I couldn't, it felt so crinkly. It feels so weird. It wasn't, yeah, didn't love it. But some of you, I did like the nice clean line that it gave me. Okay, moving on to the other eye. Same amount, tap off the excess in my lid. And I just go back and forth and back and forth. Until I get it even as I possibly can. And the blending brush, this is a technique I saw in my School of YouTube training. Because I thought, oh, this brush is just for blending. But another girl, I watched her video, she used this for application, and I really, really like it, especially here in the crease. It just seems to make, because I always had a hard time getting like such a really dark line right here, and using the blending brush really just smooths that out a lot. Okay. So now that I've done that, I'm going to use a color, I'm going to use Multitasker Dark. And this is going to be my darkest color. So, like I said, you can always substitute the colors that I'm using for what you currently have. Don't feel like you got to go out and buy all new colors to create this look. Like I said, Determined was my first shade, and it's still dark, but it's not as dark as Multitasker, okay? This is gonna be my darkest shade. This is a deep brown. Oh, and sometimes I leave the little tabs in there so that not as much product comes out in the top of my, what is this? Top of my makeup. Anyways, this didn't work, but it usually does work. Okay, so now this, because this is so dark and so rich and you only just need just a tiny bit of it, make sure just to get the tiniest bit on your brush. Again, I'm gonna use the blending brush. And I just I really, really dab it off because it's so dark and it likes to get everywhere, okay? All right, so, hard to see, but I have just the tiniest bit. And what I'm gonna do is just go here on the outer corner of my eye and then into the crease. And then we just blend it all around. Okay. Next eye. Outer corner again. And just blend it into the crease. Okay, and this is the point where I usually look at my eyes and think, it's not very symmetrical, but today we're doing okay. All right, fingers make a wonderful tool as well, okay? All right. And then I just have like a little towel or a washcloth or microfiber that I just rub off the excess on my brushes so that they're ready to go for the next color or the next day. Okay, now I take Best Kept Secret, which this comes in all the starter kits. And this you could also use if you don't have lavender lip balm. You can also use this as an eye primer. I've done that a lot and it works really, really well. Oh, another thing you can do when you get down to the end of your foundations, your powders, any of the eyeshadows, I take a pair of tweezers and I just pop off the little, those little tops that come on, the little shaker tops. I just pop those off so that I can get down to the rest of my makeup. So that's why this one looks a little bit different. I just popped off the little shaker top. Okay, now I'm gonna be using the eyeshadow brush, which is this what it looks like. Savvy Minerals eyeshadow brush. Okay, this color, Best Kept Secret, is just a tan color. Once again, dip it in, make sure it's nice and coated, and then tap off the excess. And then this you're just gonna apply over the rest of your lid. And into that darker part on the corner of your eye, just to kind of blend it in so you don't have a dark straight line. And then you're also going to take it up here where you just did the dark to also help blend that in. So just a little bit. Basically, you're just going all around the eyeshadow that you just put on. Okay. Then you can go back in with your blending brush if you'd like. Just kind of even that out a little bit. Try and soften up the lines. Okay. Now, this next part may seem a little funny, but this is a case where you can substitute. Another girl that I watched her video, she used the color Crushin'. So if you have the color Crushin', you can use that in this next step, but I don't have Crushin'. So I'm using blush. Hard to see, I know. I do believe you're blushing. And I think you could probably use any color blush that you have because you want just like a rosy color. And then I like this one too because it's got shimmer to it. And I like to put a little shimmer on my eyelids for this kind of smoky eye, date night, you know, Christmas look. All right, so again, grab my eyeshadow brush. This I like to get quite a bit of, so I cake it on pretty heavy on my brush. Tap off the extras. Oh, another thing you can be doing that I don't really do, you probably are wondering, misting spray. A lot of people will spray their brushes with misting spray. I don't really anymore, just because I found like I was getting my brush way too wet. Like I was either like spraying too close or whatever, and my brush was just becoming too wet, and then it was just making my eyeshadow more of like a foiled look. And I'll do a video of that sometime, but I just make sure I tap off the excess so that I don't have it flying everywhere. All right, and then this color, this blush, I go right in the center and just in the center. And if you've seen any of my Instagram posts, Mother May I Essentials, if you see any of my Instagram posts where I post like, I had one where I went to a concert and the makeup stayed on till like 1 in the morning. This is the look that I did for that night. So I do this night, or this look for a lot of nights out. Okay, now you're just gonna wanna blend it in, because right now you can see I have some real distinct lines. So once I get it all on there, then I take my blending brush again and just kind of lightly go over it and soften it all up. This look I love, love, love. I mean, I like it now, but once it's had a chance to bake on, and baking is just basically where you let the makeup sit on your face and your natural body temperature kind of heats the makeup up and then sets it on your face. Once it's had a chance to like bake on your eyelids, it looks so, so pretty. I actually feel like I sort of know what I'm doing once I've done this look and it's had a chance to kind of bake on a little bit. Okay. Then for the last step of eyeshadow, I use Wanderlust. And it's like this white-ish, kind of creamy, really pearly color. And it's got a little bit of sheen to it. So again, perfect for a night like this. But you can also use this color to highlight. For those of you that seen like contour and highlights, you can also use it on your face to do some highlighting, and it's really, really pretty for that if you don't have the veil. Okay, I use a slightly different brush for this. I want a smaller brush. So I use about this size brush and about this much. And then I go up here, just right under my eyebrows. This is to give it a little bit of a highlight to really make your eyes pop. So I go up here, and then I go again in the corners of my eyes. This is another place to put it to make your eyes pop. And then I just go and just blend it all in. So now we're done with the eyeshadow application. We now are gonna do eyeliner. Okay, this might be scary, but a lot of the eyeliners that I found have junk in them. So Young Living has a powder. I know, don't be freaked out. It's okay, you'll be fine. They also make an eyeliner brush. I do not have it, so I just use this one. It's angled, thin, and I get it wet. I get it just a little bit wet. Dip it in just a tiny bit of water. And then I rub it on the back of my hand so that it's just barely damp. This helps it, the eyeliner from ending up down here on my cheeks, and it also helps make it more of a long-lasting wear. And then I just take just a little bit, cap off the excess on my brush, and then right along your eyelids. Sorry, getting a little close. And I don't talk during this part because it will get crooked. I know you probably think, oh, I can't do powder eyeliner. If you do it this way, angled brush, slightly damp, I promise you'll have success. But I've also done liquid eyeliner on a moving train before, so I'm not scared. Okay, you can stop there. I always like to do my bottom lids too. And here I go right along my lash line. Like right on my eyelashes. I found on my eyes, if I go right underneath my eyelashes, because I have like some creases down here, I end up looking like a raccoon, like I've got real dark circles because it just gets stuck in the creases and then just falls down all over my face. So I go right or wrong, I go right on my eyelashes. And my brush is still just slightly damp. Okay. Now, this is an interesting tip. Do it, don't do it. But my eyelashes are rebelliously straight. I mean, they do not want to curl. So I have to make them. Eyelash curler. And then I take a hairdryer. Yes, I hairdry my... just for a few seconds because I'm not trying to burn my eyelids. Okay? Then, mascara. And I always do 2 coats of mascara because my eyelashes are real thin. So I do my first coat, let it dry. But I have a tip for that as well. Now, once I've applied just the top lashes, I come back later and do the bottom lashes, but once I've done just the top lashes, take my hair dryer again. I make sure that it's set to cool, and then I also have one that has a cool burst on it, because again, I'm not trying to like burn my eyelashes on my face. And then I just set it on high. And I use the cool burst. And I just set it on high and I dry both my eyelashes that way. And then it helps keep them curled even in humidity. Okay, so this is where I go back and I look at what I've done, whether it's good or bad, and I evaluate and see if I need to go fix anything. And then consider it done. So one other thing that you could do here is, a lot of people do this. I have just found that I end up looking like I have 2 black eyes when I do this, is you can take Determined and go under here, under your lash line, and kind of carry that shade down, and that always looks really pretty. I've just not been able to get that to work out yet. So maybe next time I get it to work, we'll try it. But yeah, this is eyeshadow, and I didn't do eyebrows yet. That's for another time, but there you go. And here's your night out look. And I will post a picture of the finished full face look when I get done. Thanks for watching.